My fiancée didn't hesitate. She dived into the ocean to save another man. I used everything I had to haul her back, and she shoved my exhausted body right into the water again. Go get him now! Later, she stood by my hospital bed and said, "Aren't you supposed to be a strong swimmer?" I turned my head away. "Just go. I don't love you anymore." Today we were at the beach shooting our wedding photos. The date was set for the end of the year. With every click of the shutter, our happiness was being captured and saved. "Jessica!" Someone suddenly shouted my fiancée's name. She held her pose and didn't look back, but her body went rigid. I knew that man. Jason Smith, her childhood sweetheart. For the past 6 years, he'd kept haunting our lives. Because of him, Jessica Miller and I had fought more times than I could count. Jessica always said if there were really something between them, would I even have a shot? In the end, I gave in because I loved her. "Want to take a break?" I asked Jessica. She shook her head, firm. "Let's finish the shoot first." The photographer coached us into a new pose. "Bride, closer to the groom. Tip your chin up and kiss him." Bigger smiles. Jessica tried to lift the corners of her mouth, but the smile came out stiff, unnatural. Then splash! Someone jumped in! Somebody's in the water! People on the beach started screaming and shouting. Before I could react, Jessica tore off her veil and leaped into the sea, swimming toward the thrashing figure. But the gown dragged her down. The waterlogged dress was pulling her under. I didn't think I jumped after her, and burning through everything I had, got her back to shore. By the time I dragged her onto the sand, I was spent. "Luke, go help Jason, hurry!" Before I could say a word, Jessica shoved me straight back into the water. Wave after wave crashed over me. I felt the current tugging me farther out as I fought to swim, my body still dropping. The only person I could cry to for help was Jessica. Cough, cough. Not far away, Jason had already been pulled out by someone else and was doubled over, clutching his chest, hacking up seawater. Another set of waves rolled in. I held my breath and ducked under, then surfaced, heaving when the water eased. I saw Jessica running toward Jason. She got smaller and smaller, and it was like she didn't even hesitate to leave me behind. The last thing I saw was Jessica with her arms around him, patting his back while they leaned into each other, her white wedding dress almost painfully pure. Looking back, the signs were always there. Jessica kept saying she didn't love Jason, yet when it came to choosing between him and me, she picked him without a second thought. I couldn't pretend I didn't see it anymore. When I came to again, I was in the hospital. My mom was at my bedside, eyes red from crying. "Luke, finally! Are you hungry? Thirsty? Does anything hurt?" I shook my head, dazed. I opened my mouth to speak, and my lungs felt like they were going to explode. The coughing wouldn't stop. "Don't talk yet." "The doctor said you took in too much water." Mom stood to rub my back, face tight with worry. "No more beach wedding shoots, okay? Too dangerous. Thank goodness they got you out. Otherwise, I'd sue that company into the ground." So it had been the studio crew who saved me. I said nothing. All I could think about was the ocean swallowing me whole. "At least you and Jessica are safe. Otherwise, how would the 4 parents survive it?" I looked down at the hospital gown. "You're worried about Jessica, aren't you?" "She's fine. She stopped by when you were out, and now she's visiting a friend they said her friend fell into." Mom sighed. "That place is cursed. Beautiful or not, don't you two ever go back." We wouldn't. There wouldn't be a next time. I shut my eyes, bone tired. Mom told me to rest and went out to buy some toiletries. I don't know how long I'd been out when the door opened again. I turned, ready to call for Mom, only to see Jessica standing there, eyes rimmed red. I couldn't be bothered to read her expression. I looked away and ignored her. Heels clicking, she came to the bed and stared down at me. "Don't you work out every day?" "How are you this week?" She started by blaming me. A dull ache flared in my chest and faded. I rasped, "Jessica, is your childhood sweetheart more important to you than your fiancé? Important enough that you could watch me drown and walk away without looking back?" "I'm sorry." Her voice held a trace of grievance. "I thought you could swim back. Jason was in bad shape, so I just went to check on him." I nodded. "So you love him, don't you?" Suddenly everything made sense. No one can replace a bond like that. In that moment, it felt like the sea washed away all my love and all my stubborn hurt. Jessica shook her head. I love you. I only see him as a brother. Spare me the he's like a brother crap. I couldn't help coughing twice. She bent to pour me some water. When I'd caught my breath, I said, Jessica, let's end it. I don't love you anymore. She slammed the cup onto the table. You're ending 6 years over one little thing? I looked into her furious eyes and the jumble of something I couldn't read in them. I said slowly, I pulled you out, and for a stranger, you shoved me back into the ocean. I had nothing left and needed you to call for help, and you just walked away. I almost died out there, one little thing. She broke down all at once, collapsed onto me, sobbing. Husband, I was wrong. It was the first time she'd ever apologized, and the first time she'd called me husband. I pushed her off. You were wrong, but I won't forgive you. Jessica, we're done. You can go. She jerked her head up, stunned, then raised her voice. Luke Dawson, I already apologized and promised it won't happen again. Don't be so unforgiving. I'd had enough. What part of we're done don't you get? Please leave. The door flew open. Feeling big now, huh? Jason stormed in, looking down his nose at me. Jessica said it was an accident. She cried and apologized. What more do you want? I looked up at him and let out a laugh. Maybe my usual silence made him think I was soft. Who the hell do you think you are? Barging in here to lecture me? Jason glared, dismissive. Jessica and I grew up together. She's like my sister. I won't let you bully her. I took a sip from the spilled cup to wet my throat and smiled coldly. If you're gonna protect her like that, why don't you marry her? He's a player. If he wanted to, he would have done it already instead of stringing her along all these years. Jason shot back, righteous as ever. She's like a sister to me. She loves you. Whether it was my words or his, Jessica went chalk white. I laughed. What a beautiful sibling bond. You coughed twice and she's ready to toss her fiancé's life aside for you. Jason's fists clenched. You didn't die, did you? Cut the snide crap about Jessica. I slammed the cup down. You two shameless lovebirds, stop flaunting it in front of me. Get out before I lose my temper. Jessica stared at me in disbelief. Do you have to be this unreasonable? Unreasonable? I still remembered, crystal clear, the helplessness of sinking under wave after wave, the salt water burning as it forced its way into my nose and lungs. That silent, desperate feeling. I'd never forget it for as long as I lived. I need to rest. Please leave. Fine. You're the one driving me away. Don't regret it. Jessica stormed out with Jason in tow. An hour later, Mom rushed back into my room, and the first thing she did was press a hand to my forehead. I frowned. Mom, what are you doing? She touched my head, then her own, muttering, Normal temperature, son. Your brain isn't fried, right? You're breaking up with Jessica? Yes. But your wedding's at the end of the year. I don't love her anymore. Mom lost it. Don't love her? Yesterday, you were all smiles in a wedding shoot. Today, you don't love her? You must have swallowed too much seawater and gone stupid. Jessica and I met freshman year. It was love at first sight. We spent a happy college life together. After graduation, we met each other's parents. 2 years later, we set the wedding for year's end. I thought we'd be happy like that forever, until her childhood sweetheart came back. At first, Jessica described Jason as a total player, a heartbreaker. She'd even gone on a rant about how they once dated, but he dumped her, and she hated him for it. She said if not for growing up together, she would have blocked him long ago. She swore she never contacted him. Yet they were always at karaoke together, traveling, gaming. Her reflex was no longer me. When I was too weak to hold on, she pushed me back into the sea. When I was begging for help, she turned her back and walked away. Mom's face went dark as iron. Right there, she called Dad to arrange canceling the engagement. What a mistake. That fiancé isn't worth half as much as some stranger nearly cost me my son's life. After she hung up, I asked, confused, wasn't it the studio staff? No one's sure. All I heard was you'd been washed far out, and some girl spotted you. She dragged you back with everything she had and did CPR to save your life. Things were too chaotic. No one got her contact info. I've already sent someone to find her. We'll thank your rescuer properly. I nodded in full agreement. The next morning, Uncle and Aunt Miller showed up at the hospital. I heard they'd first gone to my parents' house to apologize. They were furious, especially Mr. Miller. He nearly hit Jessica, they said. Mrs. Miller couldn't contain her anger. Luke, I've already given Jessica a tongue lashing. She and Jason grew up like siblings. In the heat of the moment, she didn't think she's always loved you. Mr. Miller slapped his thigh, teeth clenched. And that brat, Jason. What was he doing at your wedding shoot anyway? Yesterday, I gave him a good beating. There won't be a next time. Then both of them turned on Jason, cursing him out. After that, they called Jessica right in front of me. Where are you? Get to the hospital now! On the other end came nothing but wind, nearly drowning out her voice. Luke wants to break up with me. Why should I go to the hospital? I'm not going! Mr. Miller's face turned purple with rage. He roared into the phone. Luke's just angry. Get your ass here and apologize! Faintly in the background, Jason's voice. Sharp turn ahead. Hold on tight. Then Jessica's voice. Dad, I'm busy right now. Gotta go. You little brat. Mr. Miller hurled the phone. Then, realizing I was watching, picked it up again, taking deep breaths to calm himself. When he turned back, his face was composed. Jessica's busy with work. She'll come apologize in person later. My mom shot to her feet. Mr. Miller, Jessica's with that boy, isn't she? He even told her to hold on tighter. If they're already that close, don't drag my son into it anymore. He's not some spare tire. Miller flushed, exposed, and glared at his wife. Look at the daughter you raised! Mrs. Miller looked aggrieved but forced herself to soothe me. Luke, just focus on healing. Your uncle and I will drag Jessica back ourselves to beg for your forgiveness. The moment I heard Jessica's name, I lost all appetite. I tossed the apple in my hand straight into the trash. Don't bother. We've already broken up. Mr. and Mrs. Miller stormed off, swearing they'd get me justice. A few days later, I was discharged and could finally move freely again. During that time, the Millers never came back. Likely Jessica refused to yield, and they were too ashamed to face me. All the better. If I decided to end things, it had to be clean. I drove to our new house, the one that had carried all my dreams of the future. Every brick, every tile of the villa. I'd chosen myself on endless trips to the building supply market, picking what Jessica liked. The whole British-style decor was her taste. She used to say she'd give me 2 kids, with a nursery and nanny's room on the first floor so the children could play outside easily. To the right of the entrance was a garden. To the left, vegetable beds. She'd even bought seeds and started practicing gardening so our babies could eat veggies she'd grown herself. Now the soil in those beds was cracked and dry, barren, just like our love never to bear fruit again. Packing my things, memories of Jessica clung to every detail, but all of it had to be discarded. I was about to leave when the door opened from outside. Jessica froze when she saw me, panic flashing in her eyes. Jason was right behind her. Jason wore all black streetwear, Doc Martens on his feet, silver studs glinting in his gray hair. A total fashion boy. Jessica looked startled. Luke, what are you doing here? But then a knowing smile crept over her face. She was sure I'd come crawling back for forgiveness, to make a jealous scene. Don't get the wrong idea. My car's in for service. Jason just gave me a lift. My gaze slid past her and locked on Jason. Yeah, he was a looker. No wonder Jessica couldn't cut him loose. We meet again, I said with a smile. Jason looked surprised, studying me with a strange expression. Then I lifted an arm to bar their way and said evenly, Miss Miller, this is the house I prepared for our marriage. Now that it's over, please don't set foot in it again. Move your things out today. In 6 years together, I'd never spoken to her like that. I'd never once called her Miss Miller. Jessica flared. Luke, how far are you gonna take this? I told you it was just a ride. Do you have to throw shade in front of Jason? He was being nice. What, just because we're together I can't have any male friends? You're really breaking up with me over something so small, and now you're kicking me out? I can't believe I misjudged you. Jessica grew more agitated, even pounding on my chest. I clamped down on her wrist. Jessica, we're done. You and your man need to move your things out of my house. And by the way, I don't like you anymore, so stop flattering yourself. Thanks. Her eyes widened, staring up at me, but she found no trace of love left in mine. Furious, she snapped, Fine! I don't like you either! Then she spun around and threw herself at Jason. He wrapped his arms around her, and the two of them started kissing passionately like they couldn't get enough. Was this supposed to be a live French kiss performance for me? Sorry, I wasn't interested. Are you two finished? Or do you need me to call the cops and report you for trespassing? I really did start dialing 911. Jessica's nonsense didn't matter, but as the miller's daughter, she ought to care about her parents' dignity. She ground her teeth. Luke? Fine, you win. Who even wants your stupid house? Humiliated, Jessica immediately called movers to haul her stuff away. As she left, she threw one last threat over her shoulder. Don't come crawling back to me later. Right in front of her, I made a call. I need the bed and sofa hauled out, and a full deep clean of the house. Her face went pale, then red. After she was gone and I got my composure back, I switched into work mode. First thing I did was tell my assistant to list the house with an agent. I hadn't been to the office in days, and the backlog was a mountain. By the time I got through it, it was already 2 in the afternoon. I headed downstairs to grab food, only to be told my favorite tomato beef stew was sold out. I sighed, then suddenly, a fragrant bowl of beef stew landed in front of me. I looked up into a smiling face with cute little tiger teeth. Looks like you've recovered enough to come out and eat again. I raised an eyebrow. She winked playfully. Next time I save someone, I'd better make sure he can at least recognize his rescuer. It clicked instantly. You're the one who saved me. Thank you. Order whatever you want, it's on me. Even wild delicacies or a roast goose from the clouds, she teased. I answered sincerely. Of course, though we'd need a better spot for that. Fine, but not today. I'll be late for work. Add me on WeChat and take me out for a proper meal another time. After all, I ended up in the hospital for 3 days after dragging you back. I deserve a good meal. I nodded. Absolutely. We exchanged contacts. So, rescuer, what's your name? Jennifer Delaney. I saved her name in my phone. I'm Dawson. Luke. Jennifer quickly held up her own screen. She'd already entered my info. Smiling, she said, Senior, you were kind of famous at school. That explained it. I grinned back. So you're a junior from my old school. Turns out, Jennifer only knew me thanks to my once envied relationship with Jessica. Our story was still whispered around campus, even years later. Being 3 years younger, she'd heard of me. She told me about the day I nearly drowned. She'd been walking alone by the sea, spotted me thrashing in the waves, and pulled me out. At barely 5'3", she'd used every ounce of strength to drag me ashore, then collapsed herself, spending 3 days in the hospital. I felt guilty and tried to repay her, but she refused anything except a meal together. Nearing office hours, we parted ways. But when I walked back into my office, Jessica was already there. Where were you? Where I went, what did that have to do with her? From the moment I chose to let go, I'd blocked every number and account of hers and cut all contact. Sure, it felt strange at first, but compared to nearly losing my life, that discomfort was nothing. And as for her, without the love and care I'd given for 6 years, all she had left was clinging to Jason. But Jason was a player. He'd never give her commitment or a future the way I had. Jessica stepped closer, hesitated, and pulled back from reaching for my hand. Her eyes carried a faint sorrow. These days, I've been eating hot pot alone at that place on East Street. I brushed past her and returned to my desk. Just seeing her drained me. Her eyes turned red. I always get the spicy broth, but it's too much for me. You liked spicy, yet every time you went with me, you ordered the bland Cantonese soup. When the chili made me cry, I realized you probably found the food tasteless and boring. All along, you've been the one compromising for me. I got used to thinking you'd forgive me no matter what. She looked remorseful, but her tone begged to be comforted. Luke, I know I was wrong. My patience frayed. We've broken up. What good are these words now? Tears welled in her eyes. I was truly out of patience. I've got work. If you don't, then leave. Luke, she stared at me, crying openly now. I don't love Jason. I love you. I admit I went too far, because I thought you loved me enough to never leave. So you think after nearly drowning, I should still keep forgiving you no matter what? I cut her off. She bit her lip and sobbed harder. I was done. Jessica, stop looking back after losing it all. It's over. But I still love you. What do I have to do for you to forgive me? she asked through her tears. I pushed my chair back a little. Don't show up in front of me again. That's all. She rushed over, grabbed my hand. Luke, don't say hurtful things you don't mean. That'll only push us further apart. Was she insane? Fine. I couldn't deal. I'd just avoid her. I fled the office, told security not to let Jessica in again. The moment I got home, Jennifer texted me. Senior, I'm free this Saturday. I replied right away. Great, let's meet Saturday. Saturday morning, I showed up to pick her up. She jogged over in casual clothes, a light sweat on her forehead. Senior, let's go. She smiled, those tiger teeth showing. Don't run, what's the rush? I popped the trunk and handed her a bottle of water. Senior, girls prefer milk tea. Her tone carried a hint of playful pout. All right, I chuckled. We'll get milk tea. Thanks, Senior. Jennifer squinted as she smiled, and it felt like the sky brightened. I drove straight to the shop. Before I could even ask her order, she'd hopped out and gotten hers, then turned back. What about you, Senior? What do you want? Jessica had always avoided milk tea to keep her figure, and never let me drink it either. Now that I was here, I actually wanted some, but I'd never ordered before, and didn't know what was good. Anything's fine. Then we'll have the same. With 2 matching cups in hand, I looked at Jennifer and, for some reason, felt lighter than I had in a long time. Sipping on milk tea, I asked where she wanted to eat. Jennifer suggested we stroll through the mall first, and I agreed. If she wouldn't accept any other gesture of gratitude, at least I could repay her this way. We walked from the 1st floor up to the 5th, and she only bought 4 inexpensive items, never once letting me pay. Thanks for keeping me company, she said. I fell out with my best friend, so I don't have a shopping buddy anymore. It's my pleasure. Afterward, Jennifer suggested hot pot. I gave her a look. Just hot pot? She said naturally. Hot pot is my version of a gourmet feast. Fair enough, there was logic in that. What I didn't expect was for her to pick my favorite place on East Street. Senior, how do you handle spicy food? Used to live for it, but it's been a while. Not sure what my tolerance is now. I told her honestly. Like a sparrow chirping nonstop, she started arranging the menu. Let's do mild spice, but skip the spicy beef. Otherwise, the base will get too hot. Mild should have been fine, but after so long without spice, I was soon sweating buckets. Jennifer hurried to hand me tissues. Senior, maybe switch to half and half broth? No need. Red broth only. It burned, but it felt great. Senior, you've got a bit of tissue stuck to your face, she said. I patted around but couldn't find it. Where? Jennifer leaned in close and plucked it off. Here. Instinctively, I straightened up. Gee, thanks. Don't mention it. She just sat back down when a sudden gust of air swept by, lifting strands of her hair. At the same time, someone stormed up and slapped her hard across the face. Jessica, you slut! Seducing my fiancé! Her voice dripped with rage and venom. My brow furrowed as I stepped in front of Jennifer. Jessica, are you insane? She ignored me, grabbed at my hand to shove me aside, and when she couldn't move me, she just glared daggers. Not answering my calls, ignoring my texts, so this is why. You've got a new fling. Heat flared up inside me. She really was out of her mind. Had enough yet? Enough? That one word set her off like a trigger. She jabbed a finger at my nose. You're the one cheating, caught red-handed. She was making such a scene that diners all around were staring, some even pulling out their phones to record. I didn't care, but I couldn't let Jennifer be wronged. Jessica, let me say it again. We ended long ago. My voice was low and firm. Cracked Jennifer had stepped up beside me without me noticing and slapped Jessica back. That's payback! Jessica exploded, swinging a fist at her. I blocked her, shielding Jennifer behind me. Still fuming, Jennifer shouted, You're the one who owes him an apology. How dare you accuse him now? You were the one messing around with your side guy while still with him. You even shoved him back into the sea for that guy and almost got him killed. What right do you have to stand here? Yes, I like him, so what? Your wedding's off? You broke up. He's a great man, and he's single again. Why shouldn't I like him? Miss Miller, don't be greedy. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Who do you think you are? I never knew Jennifer's tongue could be that sharp. Jessica's eyes filled with tears as she looked at me, pleading for me to intervene. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed Jennifer's hand and walked out. Jennifer, let's get you to the hospital. Luke, you! As I passed Jessica, I caught the shock and sorrow on her face. Maybe she finally realized she'd lost me. I took Jennifer to the hospital. The doctor said it was just a slap. No broken skin, no big deal. Didn't even prescribe medicine. I'm sorry, I said in the car, guilt weighing on me. Jennifer shouldn't have had to go through that because of me. I already gave it back to her, so I'm not at a loss. Besides, she hit me, not you. Jennifer laughed, bright and carefree. The words she'd said in that hot pot restaurant still echoed in my ears. I hesitated, not knowing how to bring it up, when she suddenly asked, Senior, remember that pancake stand by the North Gate in South China? What kind of thought process was that? Now of all times? Of course. I didn't eat enough tonight. Suddenly I'm craving one. Feeling guilty? I agreed right away. I'll take you now. Great. She smiled again, radiant even after being slapped. I took her to that stand outside campus. We both ordered ours with shredded potato and egg. Steam rose from the griddle as her gentle voice drifted through the heat. Do you know when I started liking potato pancakes? I shook my head. One New Year's, my grandma was dying, my phone and wallet got stolen, I couldn't catch a ride or buy food. When I asked classmates for help, everyone thought I was scamming. I was at my lowest when I overheard a couple arguing. The girl said she couldn't eat carbs at night because she'd gain weight, then stormed off. The guy stood there torn, eyes red, and then he noticed me, my face swollen from crying. He asked if I wanted a potato pancake. I was starving and said yes immediately. I thought he'd just give me the one his girlfriend didn't want, but he bought me a fresh one. When he realized I didn't have a phone, he even called a cab for me. Jennifer's eyes locked on mine. Honestly, I never loved potato pancakes. But from that day, I did. It felt familiar. Her story's hero sounded like me. I remembered a time Jessica threw a tantrum over a pancake. Back then, I'd been hurt and angry, looking for an outlet, when I saw a girl nearby, cheeks red from the cold, eyes swollen from crying. Sympathy had moved me. I admitted now. I bought you a fresh one, because I felt awkward. It was just pride. She smiled sweetly. Doesn't matter. You helped me. And from then on, I saw you through rose-colored glasses. Senior, since fate brought us back together, and you're single now, will you let me chase you? I nearly choked on my pancake! Girls these days were this direct? My ears burned with embarrassment. I cleared my throat. You've seen it. I haven't fully sorted out my last relationship. I can't give you an answer now. She winked playfully. No worries. I'll just get in line. That way I'll have priority when the time comes. Was that even allowed? Meanwhile, Jessica was losing her mind. Word was she went home and screamed at her dad until he pulled the plug on our family's partnership. Business wasn't child's play. Pulling out halfway through meant huge losses for both sides. Seeing things spiraling, both sets of parents decided we should meet again and clear the air. I didn't want to go. If they wanted drama, let them have it. I didn't care. But my parents, worried about the company, dragged me to the Miller's house. Mr. and Mrs. Miller were delighted to see me come, willingly, immediately serving me coffee. Luke, don't hold Jessica's antics against her. She's still childish. We don't expect her to be mature. We just hope you two part on good terms. Keep the businesses unaffected. Shake hands, let it go, and remain partners. I spoke first. Uncle, Aunt, my breakup with her has nothing to do with business. If the project makes sense, I'm fine continuing to work together. Both sets of parents turned to Jessica. She stayed silent, staring only at me. I ignored her. Suddenly, she let out a cold laugh. Luke, you let your new fling hit me. You took her to the hospital and left me standing there. Did that make you happy? Everyone froze. Mr. Miller barked at her. Jessica, what new fling? What are you saying? Luke's been cheating. He stood by while she slapped me, then ditched me to take his sweetheart to the hospital. Her tone dripped with mockery. He's the one who cheated first, yet pins all the blame on me. Luke, you're not even a man, I shot back. We're already over. You get to cuddle with some guy, but I can't move on? Still lying through your teeth? Jessica's face reddened with fury. She slammed her palm on the table, eyes glistening. Same domineering look she always had when we were together. Never reasonable. She'd always been that way, only believing her own side, never considering anyone else's. I felt nothing but relief for choosing to walk away. Otherwise, I'd be trapped in her torment forever. I gave a small laugh. That day, you shoved me back into the sea, left me to drown while you ran to Jason. It was Jennifer who risked her life to pull me back. And now I intend to pursue her. Is there a problem? The Millers were stunned. My parents were shocked too. Probably never thought I'd set my sights elsewhere so quickly. Jessica gave a harsh laugh through her rage, pointing at me. Finally admitting it, huh? Perfect. You're right, I do love Jason. You were just a stand-in. And I'm marrying him soon. From now on, we're strangers. She rubbed her red eyes, turned with dramatic finality, but her steps dragged, waiting for me to stop her. So I did wait. Jessica froze, chin lifting, voice icy. Say it, I said calmly. Once the current projects end, our families won't work together again. Don't invite me to your wedding. Don't come to mine. She stiffened, fists clenched, head snapping back with a glare. Fine. Remember what you said! And she left. Both sets of parents were left stunned. I rubbed my nose, excused myself, and walked out too. No more explaining. I stopped by the supermarket, picked up snacks and groceries, and went to see Jennifer. She looked surprised. Senior, what are you doing here? Came to see you. She stepped aside, smiling wide. Get in. It's cold out. I just bought some groceries too. Let me put them in the kitchen. She trailed after me. You even brought food? Perfect. I haven't eaten all morning. What's for lunch? We didn't get to enjoy hot pot yesterday. Today we'll have a proper meal. Her eyes curved in a smile. All right. She rolled up her sleeves to wash and prep vegetables. I chopped. We worked seamlessly together. Watching her busy figure, I snapped a candid photo of her profile as she leaned over the cutting board. Then I typed out a caption and posted it on Moments. Caption, my girl. She heard the shudder and turned. Senior, did you just take a picture? Just the food. Posting to Moments. She quickly dried her hands. I want to be the first like. Seeing my post, Jennifer's jaw dropped. Senior, are you saying yes? Her face glowed with hope. I nodded. Girlfriend, don't call me senior anymore. Luke, I love you. She threw herself into my arms, crying tears of joy. Damn, guess I just confessed. Holding her close, ears burning, I muttered, keep it low-key. Low-key? How? She winked, tiptoed, and kissed the corner of my lips. Does that count as low-key? No way could I let her take the lead. I lifted her onto my waist and deepened the kiss. After we ate our fill at Jennifer's place, I went home. To my surprise, Jessica was standing at my door, looking like a scorned wife. She glared at me, fists clenched, shaking with rage. You and Jennifer are together now? Even kissing? I raised an eyebrow. And what's that to you? Luke, you really don't love me anymore? You hate me that much you'd use another woman to spite me? My patience snapped. Jessica, stop spreading your tail feathers. I don't love you anymore, so where's the hate? Just stop bothering me, okay? Jessica shut her eyes, tears streaming. Fine, remember the despair you gave me. Don't regret it later. She yanked off the necklace I'd given her when we got engaged, flung it on the ground, and stormed off. This time, she was truly gone. That afternoon, I saw her post on Moments a marriage certificate. My man, childish. Did she think I'd care? Get angry? Without love, she had no leverage anymore. Even if she married 10 times, I wouldn't bat an eye. I dragged her into my block list for good measure. The next day, Mom said the Miller household had blown up. Jason had married Jessica in the morning, and by that evening, he was in a hotel with a model. Mrs. Miller was so furious she landed in the hospital. Mr. Miller threatened to cut Jessica off. Mom asked if I wanted to visit them. I refused. Not only that, I intended to stay away entirely. That same day, I moved in with Jennifer. Now, Jennifer and I went to work together, cooked dinners together, traveled on our days off. The days were ordinary, but beautifully peaceful. The next I heard of Jessica was 3 months later. She'd divorced Jason. One night, she called me in tears. Luke, I was wrong. I never should have married him out of spite. Please come back. Don't leave me. I cut her off. Who are you? Do I know you? Then I hung up and blocked her again. A hand slid up around my neck, voice playful. Who was that? Spam call. Her lips pressed to mine. Where were we? Right here.